Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So BT5 is in full swing now. We've had several regionals. We've really gotten to see what cards are really dominating, what decks are absolutely dominating in this format. But what are kind of some of the commonalities in all of these decks? You know, it doesn't matter which color you're playing. Some it does, but then what kind of variant of that color are you playing, and what cards are just kind of persisting through every deck all over the place. So I'm going to give you my top 5 cards or card types that are just absolutely dominating the meta no matter what deck they're being played in. Also, don't forget our memory marker for this month is Tanamon. So if you're playing green this format, this is going to be a great memory marker for you, honestly. Something very unique, something very different that not everyone else is going to have. It definitely stands out great on the table. So if you want one of these guys, check the link in the description below for our Patreon. Alright, our first one up on the table is not really much of a surprise, but it's any deck that can facilitate a memory blocker. What a memory blocker is that all turns your opponent can't gain memory except with tamer effects. So this is still just incredibly powerful. Even right now, these were powerful from the beginning. Being able to stop blue Omnimon back during 1.0, being able to shut down Hammerspark, because Hammerspark was huge in the meta, all the way till now. Just anytime you can turn your opponent off from getting free memory is super clutch. Looking at what decks in the meta are using these, okay, or using memory gaining abilities. So if you look at Yellow has stuff like Patamon that combos great with the decks running like Slash Angemon. Even if they're running Lord Nightmon with dropping down the Nightmon itself to kill stuff, they're running stuff like War Growlmon, Valder Arm. You know, Yellow is dominating with the Patamons as well as the Blinding Ray. Blinding Ray is so powerful of a yellow card, just gaining 2 memory. Your opponent puts you at 1. You play Blinding Ray, go up to 3. You Digivolve into Yellow War Greymon, Lord Nightmon, you know, tons of these megas, and you're still able to do so much with that. You get to go full combo at that point. As well as, if you have a TK on the field, there's plenty of plays where people have gone Blinding Ray, go up to 5, and then Bushi Agumon for game. Okay, it happens. Okay, I've done it. It's a literal meme that's a thing you do. Bushi for game is just Blinding Ray, go up to 5, and play Bushi, and then swing for game. So, having memory blockers to stop that, super important. But not just that. If you look at Lilith Loop, while it might not be dominating in the meta, it is still heavily played in the meta. So people are going to still play it because it is a fun deck. It is very cool when it pops off, and you just got to do so much crazy, nasty, you know, powerful plays. But as soon as a memory blocker hits the field, you know, they're done. You shut down everything at that point. So that's huge. Looking at the purple option card, right, that they have. Jackraid is very similar to Hammerspark. You know, they're gaining memory off of this, but also if you ever hit a Jackraid in security, you know, and you had the pass turn back to your opponent, having a memory blocker stops that effect from going off in security, so you don't actually pass your turn. Same concept for Hammerspark. If you ever going against Blue Impurigramon, which is pretty prominent in the meta, also we've seen Hexablaumon literally come out of nowhere and top an event, top one of these regionals. So Hammerspark is there. It's everywhere. Okay, memory gaining effects are just abundant in pretty much every top tier meta deck. You've got Lord Nightmon, you've got Rookie Rush, you know, with the Blinding Ray combo there with the TK. You've got Lilith Loop going full out, gain crazy memory. You've got Impurigramon, Hexablaumon. Those decks, they're all gaining memory. So memory blockers is super important. If your color has a memory blocker, you should at least play 2 copies, at least. Our next card type is not a memory blocker. In a way, sort of it is, but it is a reduction blocker, okay? So, it's like, I've got the example here. Opponent's turn, your opponent can't reduce Digivolution costs. There's very few cards in the game that get to do this. So, blue has this one. Yellow has Cutiemon down here that also does it. Cutiemon is huge. Cutiemon is being played in pretty much every yellow deck, as well as Rookie Rush, because Rookie Rush likes to counter other decks too if it can get away with it. So being able to reduce Digivolution costs. No, so where does that matter, right? Against yellow, not so much. However, let's look at some more meta relevant decks, so what it turns off. If you're looking at Imperial Dramon's effect of reducing its 5 Evo costs down to 3, that's what you're turning off. You're turning off the super mega play that Imperial Dramon likes to do. Like, they go swing with Pile Dramon, Digivolve into Imperial Dramon to unsuspend, and then they get their double swing there, and then they go Omnimon on top of that. That's 4 swings right there with the Imperial Dramon deck. So being able to just reduce or turn off the reduction of that Imperial Dramon, that very, very first Evo, completely shuts down that whole combo. So having these memory reductions is good for that, as well as just green, okay? So green loves their Digisorption. I mean, it's blown me out plenty of times. I'll leave my opponent with 1 memory. They have a level 4, and Digisorption with that level 4 to go into a 5, and then go Nidhoggmon on top of that level 5, and then clear my whole field. I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't see 1 memory and a level 4 being able to completely blow me out of the water like that. So having reduction is huge, not just for the Digisorption, but also things like Hidden Potential. Hidden Potential is still a card, okay? It's a one of, but it is still a card. So being able to just turn off Hidden Potential entirely is also really good. So those are like just major cards that we're seeing a lot in the meta, and so it's very important to be able to turn those off. Even looking at Nokia just suspend Nokia to reduce the Evo cost of all your Greymons and things like that. Just completely turn Nokia off. I've had that come up in several games where they just couldn't quite be as memory efficient, because normally Greymon isn't terribly memory efficient, but with Nokia it definitely can be, and still have all their crazy good effects. So definitely need to include these. If you don't have a memory blocker, then hopefully you can at least have one of these Digivolution reduction. So we're taking it way back with this one. Blockers, right? We're not just talking about blockers though. We're specifically talking about the 6K DP blockers, okay? The old 2 Evo cost ones. Everyone got their 1K Evo blockers, and we're like, yes, this is so much better, so much more memory efficiency. And then Lord Nightmon became like one of the most popular decks in all of Digimon, and they kind of just blew over those decks. So they can either go Nightmon minus 4K, or go War Groundmon minus 4K, and then swing, and whatever their baby is can minus another 1K. Or if they're playing the Salomon or the Gatomon, any of those 3, it only takes 1, and they just swing, and boom, clear your blocker off the field, and you don't even get to use it, okay? Also, you can't even okay, well, I won't block with it. You can't even save it. Or they'll go, there's tons of stuff. They could even drop just a simple Starmons, and if they have a big enough field, they can clear those 5Ks extra easy. The 6K is so important now, so much more. Every time I've played Lord Nightmon or played against Lord Nightmon, every time I've wished I had the 6K instead of the 5K in my hand. Every time. I know it's one more cost to Evo, but wow, that 1 extra 1,000 DP is insanely important. Just because of that whole minus 4K, and then they swing with the Lord Nightmon and minus another 1K, and then you don't even get a block. Is so important that you can still survive, because you need to at least block that 1 hit, and it's because they will clear it, okay? One more swing with anything with another minus 1K will clear that blocker. So you go ahead and you have a moment of, I can at least sacrifice my blocker that I know is about to die anyways, but I can still get use out of it. and the 6K is just absolutely important. So more and more people are switching back. If they're not running both sets of blockers, they're dropping the 5,000 DP one to go for the 6K one. I've gone back to running both. I like the 1-cost Evo just for the memory efficiency of stair stepping, so that way I can run 2 1-cost Evos, like 2 different ones, as well as I can run 2 different blockers. So I do run the 5K one still, but I prefer, if I'm going to just keep a blocker on field long term, that it's a 6,000 DP one. Okay, so it doesn't matter which version of yellow you're playing. There are tons of ways to play yellow. There's several ways to play Lord Nightmon. Okay, no one, I mean, people like Lord Nightmon. Okay, it's not like, it gets bashed on a lot, but it is still one of the most represented decks in all of Digimon. It gets a lot of hate, because it is insanely popular. It is very good. So when something is as good as it is, it kind of makes sense that it's also hated on just because it's so powerful. But it doesn't matter which version you're playing. If you're playing Mastamon as your secondary Mega, you're playing War Greymon as your secondary Mega, you're playing Slash Angemon as your secondary Mega, it doesn't matter which version you're playing. Also, it doesn't matter if you're playing, well, especially it matters if you're playing Security Control, Recovery. All of them is important. Maybe less on the Slash, but I would say definitely on the other ones. Mastamon likes to kill yourself. Okay, you literally digivolve into it, it hurts you. War Greymon, you hurt yourself when you use his ability. Okay, all those Security Control, it's all about just getting your security to clear your opponent's field, so they just keep hitting it like a wall, and you just keep recovering it. Doesn't matter which version you're realistically playing, some recovery doesn't hurt. Slash Angemon is the only one that can kind of get away with it, but even they would probably prefer a little bit. So the choices are super nice when it comes to what you want, and also what's in your budget. So, Lucymon is a rather expensive card, okay? And it doesn't really work with any other combos in the deck other than getting to play it for free to recover 1. If you're not playing ways to play this guy for free, then you probably don't want to look at it as much. Also, if you're afraid of the consistency, it hurting your consistency, you can steer away from that for something else. Patamon, 0.0 Patamon, again, making a comeback as a predominant place in a deck. Just getting that recovery 1. It's a little bit more of a stipulation. You need 1 or less to be able to actually get use out of them, but it's there. Salomon still being an incredible one. Salomon is basically just I would say a better version than the Patamon, just because you can use its effect earlier, so you're not waiting till the end of the game before you can finally get it off. These are great cards to use. Gatomon, whenever I'm playing Mastamon, I like to throw, 1 or 2 Gatomons into my Mastamon deck just because it works so nicely with Mastamon, so there's no harm in playing it. If you're playing Security Control, you already know about, Holy Wave. We got the Seraphimons. You got the Magna Angemons, of course. The Holy, I think I already said that one. But yeah, you've got so many to choose from. I don't even need to tell you what to do with Security Control. But recovery is important. I would say no matter what yellow deck you're playing, play a little bit of recovery, just because a lot of your strategies are hurting yourself, and just a little bit of recovery can just kind of make up for that. Your opponents that you're looking at in the meta right now is Imperiumon as a big contender to hurt you, because they can do a whole lot of damage insanely fast, as well as Rookie Rush. Rookie Rush is being number 2, an insanely fast deck, and if you hurt yourself at all, they will definitely capitalize on that. So just being able to balance back a little bit is pretty important. And then the last type of card that I want to touch on is a consistency booster. Okay, now what that means is cards that are basically letting you search for things. So we've seen TK in yellow since the beginning. They hard play it, and they get to search through their entire security and get the exact card that they need for whatever situation that they're currently in. So, they need a rookie desperately, level 4, whatever it is that they need in that exact moment, they can search essentially 5 cards potentially and then add it to hand. So that's been a staple in every yellow deck since then. So every time a color gets a card that does something like that, it gets added to the deck. Like look at Davis got added to blue, and then even if you're not playing Imperialdramon, Davis is still being used in tons of blue decks just because it's a great card to add consistency. Looking at red now, red has lots to work with. So there's tons of these Agumons that get these great on-play effects of getting to search. So you got reveal 3 cards in the deck. Also, look at Shoutmon here. Reveal 5 cards from the top of the deck. And then you're getting to add multiples. Adding 1 is okay. Adding 2 is very, very nice. Even looking at yellow here, Kotemon, reveal 5. You get to add 2 Digimon to hand on an on-play effect. Consistency boosters. The game is so fast now that you've got about 3 turns to kind of keep up with your opponent. If your opponent outpaces you in those 3 turns, the first 3 turns, then they'll probably remain there unless you just have some crazy wild security that just sets them back so severely. But that's not something you should bet on by any means. So just being able to make sure you can keep pace by getting the cards you need. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm bricking, crap, I can't get whatever it is I need. I drew 5 megas. Okay, well, let me hard play this, whatever it is, and reveal the top 5, 3, whatever it is, and, you know, kind of get back into the game. Red is really nice. They got Nokia, so they can play Nokia and then go in and then play a free Agumon on top of that. And if that Agumon has that search capability, you know, they're getting tons of value on all these kinds of effects. Effects like that just let you get to play other things for free. Looking at Lord Nightmon or War Greymon using the Angelmon combo, anytime you get to play cards for free, super important. And then when those cards can also give you more cards to replenish themselves, because normally if you hard play a rookie, you know, you're going to maybe lose out on some draw factor there, not digivolving into a rookie, whatever. Or if you bring out like a Bushi and the swing with the Bushi and it dies, you know, you're not going to be able to digivolve your level 4 on top of it, so you're going to lose value. So having ways to mitigate that loss of value, sure, you might be getting ahead in security, but you're losing resources in your hand. So having other ways to mitigate losing resources is absolutely fundamental. Again, if you have to hard play a rookie, you're not digivolving with it, so you're not replacing it in your hand when you do that. So if you can reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck, add 2 to hand, that is extreme value. That is a +1, and you have a body on field. I don't need to tell you how important it is to have Digimon on your field to win the game, okay? You have to attack the face to win, okay? Even if you're playing security control and somehow clearing your opponent's security like mad, you still have to swing to win. So that's going to close us out. Just that last one there, I feel like is probably one of the most important. It's just the consistency boost. The game is just too fast. At the end of the day, this game is getting faster and faster, and people are winning in less and less time. So being able to always ensure that you have the cards to answer the situation that you're in, either advancing your own board or defending whatever it is your opponent is doing to you. If they're clearing you way too fast, you need to put out a blocker or you need to get some recovery, whatever that is. Having a consistency booster to allow that is very important. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please like the video and subscribe. Just a little bit of help goes a super long ways. It helps the channel out tremendously, gets my videos out there, gets them seen. And if you really, really want to support the channel, check out the links in the description below. I'll have a link for my Patreon, which is displayed right here. You can get access to my Discord server that I have, as well as you can get the memory markers that we've had. These are just a few of my favorites from the past that we've had. The current one, Impmon's baby, as well as Gabumon's baby as well, Sunomon and Yaomon. These guys are super adorable. I definitely love them so much. And every month a new one changes out, so make sure you check that out. As well as we have our new playmats. This is why I recreated this video. It's because our playmats are here finally, and they are super cool. I alternate between the black and white every single month for whoever wants to support this tier, as well as I have a tier just higher than that, so that way you don't also have to lose out on a memory marker. You can get both the memory marker and the playmat just in case you want both. super awesome support from everyone that has supported in the past and who will support in the future. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to check out my merch, my Teespring link is in the description below for that. We've got, you know, the shirts that I wear on the channel that has the logo across. I love when I see people representing my merch in public. It is like one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. Very, very awesome. As well as phone cases for you people that love Digimon like so much like I do. A friend of mine custom made all these to fit these specific phone cases themselves. So the prices are a little bit higher just because I have to pay her back, as well as make a little tiny bit of profit because of how much, unfortunately, they take for their cut for Teespring. But like I said, if you can't do any of that, please just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time we hit a new mile marker for subscriptions, I give out free merch of all different types. 2000K, I think we're doing one of the Playmat giveaways. So definitely be subscribed and ready for when that comes.